Boom. The home stretch for Friday. All right, British Andy, you need to control your keyboard typing, please, sir, so we can get some learning up in here. All right. Now, I know I said I was going to start off with something here after the break, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. What was my cliffhanger? I said, after the break, I'm going to show you... What was it? Tell me what it was. A synth thing. Yeah, I know it was a synth thing. I don't remember. It was something with mass. Oh, right, the LFO. Right, an LFO on an LFO. Noli, that was your thing. Are you still here? LFO on LFOs. Yeah, I know you don't know British Andy because you weren't here. All right, but that's all right. Zaint, you kind of sparked my memory, but yep. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to get this synth LFO thing going on. So first of all, what I'm going to do, thank you, stop saying my name. What we're going to do here is I'm going to put an LFO onto my pitch over here. And the way I do that is I grab my LFO, and you see this little thing right here, this little arrow thing. I take this and I'm going to drag it over here to this. Boop. So now, and I can adjust my rate right here. Right, so we got that, and that sounds pretty cool. But now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and I'm going to make it so that when I hit the key initially, well, first of all here, I'm going to make it so it starts every time at the same place. Not sync. Hold on. Restart. There we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so an envelope is going to control the rate of the LFO. Okay? So, guys, seriously? How can I mute you? Ban, timeout, mod. I can block you. Boop. Well, just chill, all right, dude? There's like a lot of people in here. Yeah, but it's not fun for everybody else. It's just being annoying. All right, so. All right, so we got this here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this so it sets up so it starts slow and then gets faster, all right? So we got this. I'm going to take this envelope here, number 1, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to drag it onto here, onto the rate. Boop. So now we got that. And I'm going to say, how much do we want to affect it with massive? The way you do this is you drag this up like this. Click and drag how much you want it to affect it. So I go over here to my envelope now, and let's start high and come down low. All right, so now let's decay longer. And that's kind of a cool sound. Like that. All right. Let's go ahead and make it so it doesn't cut off quite so fast. On the default, on massive for your amplifier is envelope number 4. Cool. Cool. There we go. Now, obviously, that's not useful for like a normal synthesizer sound or something like that, but it's just demonstrating how you can make some cool kind of sound effects, and you can have like modulation controlling modulation, modulators controlling modulators. So I could also have, instead of having this envelope control the rate of the LFO, I can have another LFO control the rate of the LFO. So I go in here and so you can do some really weird things like that. Now, I have no idea how that would ever be useful for anything. It sounds pretty annoying to me, but there you go. We can get that to work. All right. Thanks. I'm glad that you think it sounds bad. I also think it sounds bad. Add something useful to the conversation or stop typing. All right, cool. So that's that. Let's see here. Anything else in here? The routing of different synthesizers totally depends on the synth that you're in. Some synthesizers route, like actually Massive is one of the most useful, like the easiest of routing. It's pretty cool once you learn how to do it. Other synthesizers do it differently. Every synth is very, very different. And if you want to learn how to do sound design, then you're going to have to like learn how the synth that you want to choose does it. We were talking yesterday about Serum. Serum is actually similar-ish to Massive. There we go. Serum is actually kind of similar to how Massive does it. You've got your LFOs like this, and you drag the LFO onto something to make it sound a different way. So for example, if I go into my bass sounds, and let's go into just whatever, like organ bass here. There's my all right. Cool. All right. Yeah, you are also getting timed out for a while, dude. Sorry. Bloom. There you go. Those dudes were annoying the crap out of me. Sorry. I tried to be nice, but... all right. So, here we go. I got the sound. Now, if I wanted to apply some stuff to this, in here, my envelopes, LFOs, stuff like that works. Tony, don't totally... No, I don't. I do not at all. All right. So, for example, here, I want to make this do something to my filter. My filter's over here on the left. Right? And we can see the filter is being... if you mouse over it, you can see here, assign modulators envelope 2. So I can go over here to my envelope 2. There's that, and click on this. And if I want to assign the LFO to it as well, there's my LFO. And if I mouse over it, we can see it's got the LFO and the envelope. And now my LFO is here, and I can have my LFO like that. So there you go. And basically I was just showing you that, not to show you, not to like have it so you can like learn how to use Theorem right now, but mostly just so you can see how it's done differently in different synthesizers. And if you learn how to do it and you're pretty good at it and you understand the concept behind sound design, then you can really do it in any synth at all. It's pretty cool the way that works. That's pretty much it for the day. I think we have two choices. We can either be let out early, or I can continue talking about Reactor and building a modular synth in Reactor. So it's up to you. I'm also curious if those two dudes are going to come back in like 10 minutes. I'm guessing no. Show of hands. Who wants me to keep going, or who wants to go and do other stuff because it's Friday? You blocked and reported them. Nice. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I timed them out. So I'm not quite as hardcore as you are. But yeah. How about recording synth in 96 and then bouncing them out to throw in a 41K? Oh, okay. So this is a good question. I find chilling learning, but however the class feels overall, I'm cool with. All right. So let's answer Jerry's question here. How about recording synth in 96K and then bouncing them out to throw in a 44.1? Is it a difference? The answer is yeah. So Sam from Walker and Royce, he's talked about doing that a few times, that he used to do it, but I don't know that he still does it anymore. I know he did it to try to like kind of mess around with some stuff and try some things out, but I'm not sure it's something that he does a lot. Like I don't think he does it often. Actually, let's see. Who is this person? Who? Stephen Skinny? Sam, Walker and Royce. Sam Walker. Let's see. Hey man, I'll hit him up real quick and let's see. I'm super curious about this actually now. Are you still bouncing out synths in 96K to bring into your 34.1 sessions? I'm super curious. The reason why I'm hitting him up is because he's the only person who I've ever heard of doing it. I mean, basically everything should be affected. 96K is really just something, it's a higher sample rate. There's more stuff in it. But the thing is, with 96K and the higher sample rates, you're going to notice it more on individual sounds than you're going to notice it in a mix, unless your mix is really, really sparse. If you have a mix that's super sparse, mostly acoustic, lots of like cymbal decays and stuff like that, then you're going to notice it. But once you start layering sounds on top of things, you're not going to notice as much. Like you talked about, you recorded a track at 96 and you noticed the difference in vocal tracking. You're talking about the whole track. And also the other thing the other part of that whole thing is that it's like, I'm a believer that you have to kind of think about your target audience, and is it worth your time bothering with stuff like that? Or is it more worth your time to get on with creating music? Is it really necessary to worry about like the small difference in tonal quality that it makes versus just getting on with making bangers for your audience to dance to? And for me, and this is my own personal like this is just me, I feel like it's more important to be making good music than to be worrying about like this slight difference in quality of sound at 96K. Because the reality is, we've been listening to music for such a long time at 44.1 that everything was 44.1 from top to bottom, or even MP3s. Like everybody listens to MP3s. And I have friends who are like, yeah, well, I only DJ with WAV files. And I've DJed some giant parties. And my partner, my music partner, he plays WAV files all the time. He plays off an SD card. He puts his SD card into the CDJ and he uses an SD card. And that way he doesn't forget it. He doesn't ever have to worry about which one is his because nobody uses SD cards. So he uses an SD card, he plugs it in, and it's all waves all the time. And the way we DJ is basically back to back. So he plays a song and I play a song, and he plays a song and I play a song. And I only play MP3s. I only play MP3s. If he gives me AIF files or WAV files, I convert them to MP3s. And I stick them on my thumb drive. And we played some big shows and festivals and stuff, and nobody ever complains about our sound quality between him and me. Like nobody ever comes up to me or him and says like, oh man, your track sounded amazing, but Tony's tracks sounded like MP3s. And I was having this conversation with a friend of mine who's an amazing producer, and he's starting to blow up right now. And he does everything at Waves as well. And he was like, yeah, well, Waves sound better. I'm like, okay, first of all, everybody at the club is inebriated in some way. They're either drunk or high or something. Like 98% of the people. Nobody's sober. And if they are sober, they're, I don't know, they're probably just not caring. I mean, that's just the reality of the world we live in if you're making club music. Now, if you're recording orchestral music, if you're recording like orchestras and you're doing film scores and stuff like that, that's a little bit different because those tracks are being made to be played in a theater for people sitting down, concentrating on it with headphones and surround sound and all this really cool stuff. And it's a very different experience. And you can really pay attention to cool sound design points. But I know you make club music, I make club music, and the reality is the club music is a very different situation. So that's my 2 cents. Whatever. All right. So, all right, where were we? What were we going to do? Oh, I know, we were going to talk about Reactor. All right, so let's open up Reactor here for a second and get a little bit of Reactor knowledge up in here. So I'm a huge fan of the newer version of Reactor. This is Reactor 6, but it's Reactor 6 point blah, blah, blah. And so when you open it up, it has this in here. Play with Reactor instruments, experiment with patching modular racks. Let's click on patch. And this is actually different from the Reactor that we have at school. I'm going to just go ahead and put this in the whole screen. Oh, you're back. Okay. Nefarious. If you start going crazy on typing, I'm going to block you completely because there's a lot of other people in this room right now. I mean, a lot. There's like 14 other people in this room right now. So we have missions. We have accomplishments that we want to achieve. All right? Oh, and you're like the same person, aren't you? Because you both misspelled the same thing. Huh, interesting. Yep. Okay, anyway. So we're talking about Reactor right now. So this is different from the one we have in our classroom at school. So unfortunately, that's also Reactor 6. This is Reactor 6, but this is a new version of Reactor 6. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit play on this. I got, okay, that. Okay, cool. So I'm going to make a basic synth in here using primes. Let's go in here and use some of these. Bento box. And I'm going to drag and drop an amp in here. And an oscillator. and a filter. Boop. There we go. So I have our oscillator. I'm just going to move these. We'll move them to right here. And the oscillator goes into the filter, goes into the amplifier. All right. So now what we need to do, yeah, I know, but I'm going to give them like one more time before I block them. I know, me too. It's not cool, but whatever. Okay, never mind. Ban. Ban. Sorry. All right. Done. So anyway, okay, so what I'm going to do here, now when you're making a new synth in Reactor, I should zoom in on this. When you're making a new synth in Reactor, what you got to do is you got to have your note in set for stuff. So I got to drag this over here to pitch and gate. And the gate we're going to use for our VCA here. And then the pitch is going to be here for our note in. So what happens is my output, I'm going to go in here and go from my output on my oscillator here to this one here to my filter. And then the output of my filter is going to go to the input of my VCA. And the output of my VCA is going to go to my audio outs here. It's going to go to two things. Boom. So now when I hit play, is it not? Oh, wait, hold on a second. Turn this up. There we go. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to have my gate control this amplifier here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a envelope in here. ADSR envelope. Boop. There we go. And now the gate is going to control my envelope. Now remember, this is like literally exactly what we were talking about earlier. So the gate is going to control the envelope, and the output of the envelope goes over here to the envelope goes to the A here, and then A, I click on this, and I can control it here. And I'm going to go over this all in more detail in a second, but I just want to show you this first. Turn this up. There we go, and now I can control it with my keyboard. Let me just turn it down here. Okay, cool. Sweet. So now we've got that there, and I can delete some stuff out. Like I can delete out this levels thing. I can delete out my clock here. I can delete out the audio input if I want. Oh, it won't let me delete that out. So I can delete some of these things out. Okay, make you some sad beats. Oh, we'll make some sad beats eventually. All right. So now in here, let's go over here to the oscillator, and we can see this is basically a super, super basic synth. I'm gonna pull this down here like this, so it's easier to see like what's actually controlling the oscillators and what's not. So over here, there we go. Here's our filter. Here's our oscillator. And we can control. Here's our filter. Right? There we go. There's our filter. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and make another envelope for the filter. And we can rename these and stuff like that, but properties. This one's going to be called amp envelope. Boop. And over here, if I right click on this one, oh, I don't have to right click on it. I can just click it. And this one here, I'm going to call this one my filter envelope. There we go. And so in order for these to work right, I have to connect them up to a gate up here. So I click on the gate and I just drag it down. Gate. And then the output, I'm going to bring the output from here to the A of my filter. We're going to give this one a name as well. And this one's my amp. And we'll call this one oscillator number 1. Boom. All right, so you see how that stuff works there. And if I want to apply this envelope to this filter here, what I do is I click on the A here because I plugged it into A. I click on A, and now I can apply it in there. So if I wanted to make it like that, I'm going to move it down over here. Yeah, I understand, RJ. Okay, so I got this. Now, cool. Right, so let's go ahead and make a little bass line out of this. And just gonna make a little. Just whatever kind of. And then I'll just a quick little drum beat in there real quick. Drums, 909. Nothing really fancy. I'm just gonna put, hold on, let me get rid of this reactor. Cool. Nice. And we're just gonna have a little closed hi-hat here. Yeah. Yep. I don't need that one actually. Cool. So this reactor, now that we've got something going on here, we can mess around with this a little bit. We can change the waveform. Or I could mess around with this stuff here. And I can turn these up and down. I see what you're doing there, RJ. I see. Right, and I can take these, turn these down as well, and then mess with these. Shape the sound like this. Now, what I can do though, while this is going on, let's put another couple of oscillators in here, shall we? So let's get another oscillator to stick it right here. Oop. And if I have 2 oscillators going, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to get a mixer. So we can do a mixer, This is a mixer from Bento Box. Boom, here's a mixer. And so what I'll do is I'll get this oscillator here. Whoops. The output from this one and go into number 1. And the output from this one and go into number 2. So now if I just play number 1, oh, and the output needs to go into here. There we go. Okay, sounds exactly the same. Nothing's changed. But what I can do is I can pull up number 2 here. And first of all, I'm going to change this to like a triangle wave, a sawtooth wave. Do you have to hold down any buttons simultaneously while you're drawing in a patch with your cursor? You mean dragging the cables around? Is that what you're talking about? If so, the answer is no. You don't have to hold down any buttons. I'm just clicking and dragging. But you got to have the latest version of Reactor. This is Reactor 6.3.2. So you have to have the latest version. 6.3, I think, is where they made it so you could actually drag cables around like this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this up an octave. Why are we not hearing that? Oh, I see. Hold on, wait. What's happening? Oh, the pitch. That's why. Hold on. Put this back to 12. And let's change this pitch. Put the pitch in. I didn't put the pitch in. There we go. There we go. Cool. And you can hear the different sounds I can make. Flip this around. So you can hear how you can change things around just with a few oscillators and a few envelopes and stuff, and you can make it some variation over time, which is kind of cool, I think. Yeah, and that's just the basics of using a reactor. So here, let me just start this reactor back up again so we can. Yeah. New York, I love you, but you're breaking my heart there, buddy. Woody, though? All right, so just one real quick going over this so you have something to play with over the weekend if you have Reactor. Is you click on it, you hit experiment with patching modular racks, and you hit go on this. And I think there's actually, isn't there like a free version of Reactor or something that has like just the basics of stuff, like this bento box that you can play around with? I think there might be. Actually, let's see if the Native Instruments website is working now. DJ Tractor DJ2 free download. Sweet, there you go. New York, I love you, but you got coronavirus. True story, bro. Reactor. All products, free products. Let's see. Oh yeah, Reactor 6 player. And the free version has, yeah, block space. Yeah, so everybody who has a computer, you can download this for free. Get it, because everything I just did, you can literally do. All that stuff. Bento box, yep, cool. And there's some neat stuff, so everybody get that. And next week, we'll use this reactor blocks and get as much of this Native Instrument stuff. Just go to their website and go to the free page and get all this stuff. Analog Dreams, full version, free, yay! Contact 6 player, Micro Prism. Oh, they still have, okay, cool. I don't know what Micro Prism is actually. That's cool. Yeah, Supercharger is a good compressor. It actually sounds really good. I didn't realize it was still for free. But yeah, that's what's up. I think we're going to stop there. It's Friday. And yeah. So, still not sure tonight. I've got a friend who's doing a DJ set online from 10 o'clock. And I don't want to compete with him at all. So maybe I'll do like a little DJ set from I don't know, 8 to 10 or something. We'll see. Let me see how I feel after I stretch out a little bit. But yeah, I might do something like that. I'll let you know. I'll post it up. I'll send a message. What's the easiest way to notify y'all? Like put a message up or something? In Canvas, I can send a message out in Canvas. Do y'all all check your canvases? So yeah, well, we'll see. Cool. All right. Yeah, no, you're welcome. This is fun stuff. I mean, I love teaching this stuff. This is I was talking to Todd about this, and I was saying, I'm sad to see him go. I'm really sad to see him go because I love working with Todd. But he handed off the class to me at the best this time, not coronavirus wise, but just as far as the content that I'm teaching is my perfect. I've been teaching and working with Ableton Live for almost 20 years. I've been working with synthesizers and samplers for forever, and I love talking about this stuff. So. And it's great because obviously y'all are into it as well, and that makes it so much easier for me. So thank you very much for continuing to be awesome, and I will hit y'all up on Canvas if I remember. Hopefully I remember. I'll hit you up on Canvas when and if I go live. At some point this weekend I'll go live, and I'll let you know. All right. Thank you so much. Hors d'oeuvres. Hasta la fiesta. Bye.